All right. Good morning, world. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get pulled in last night until a little after, or almost 11 o'clock. I was gonna say a little after 11, but when I pulled in, it was right around 11. I didn't actually get backed into a spot till a little after 11. Kind of crowded last night. The truck stop I chose. I had to drive 20 minutes over my clock to get there. Once you hit St. Louis, there's not a lot when it comes to places to park. There's just not a lot of options until you get to Cuba. There's a is it a TA or yeah, I think it's a TA. There's a TA there. Might be a road ranger. How am I spacing on this? There's either a TA or a road ranger there with the Dottie's Family Restaurant, little truck stop thing. Usually it's pretty reliable for parking. So, you know, winter times, late at night and winter times, it is a little bit more difficult to find parking there because people are trying to get off the roads if the conditions are bad. But this time of year, not too bad. So, like I said, it's 9 in the morning. Got my coffee. Emma B has been, her little ears perked up. Emma B's been walked. Garbage has been thrown out. And we have hit the road with just under 600 miles to go to our destination. So headed to Fort Worth. Yesterday was a little bit of a shit show. Just a little recap. It was I only had 3 pickups. Usually it's between 3 and 4, but I had 3 pickups. Everything was going good. The first one, I was in and out of there about 5 minutes. That place is always like that. The second one was about 50 minutes, which is actually really good for them. Usually they're a 2-hour stop. 2 hours, 2 hours 30. Then I head on to the third stop, which in the past has been relatively good. You could get in and get out sometimes in 20 minutes. 30 minutes on the high end, and these last 2 weeks I've been kind of screwed around there. So this week I spent over 3 hours there. 3 hours in some change, because apparently they were having an employee appreciation for some guy that had put 10 years in there. And for some reason that meant that apparently nothing could get done. They were still unloading trailers, but they weren't loading trailers. So whatever that means, or for whatever reason, that was a scenario. And I went in multiple times, and I hated to do it because the women in there, the office women are, they're pretty decent, nice, So you don't want to upset them because they've always been kind to you, but but eventually you got to be a little forceful and be like, listen, I need 2 pallets. I've been here for 3 hours. Either give me the 2 pallets or I'm just gonna leave. Which I've actually done before, not at this place, but I've done before. And then I'll just call my company and tell them, like, yeah, listen, there's no load, so I left. And yeah, those are more drastic situations than a 3-hour wait. But 3 hours for 2 pallets is utterly ridiculous. I had this is like probably almost 2 years ago. It was during the summer, and I was coming out of Gainesville, Florida, do a pickup in Atlanta at 5 p.m. just a nightmare scenario. You don't want to be in Atlanta at 5 p.m. with the semi intending to go anywhere. And so my reefer was having issues, so I had to stop to get that serviced. So I stop, I get my reefer serviced. This pushes me back to where I'm gonna be slightly late on my appointment. By slightly, I mean like 20 minutes. So, you know, I let dispatch know, or let managers know, hey, you know, I'm running late, obviously, because of this reefer issue. Just let them know, make sure it's okay with them. So they reach out, I get the message, they understand, and they'll load me when I get there. 20 minutes is no big deal for them. So, cool. I get to this place. It's like a little hidden facility. The back area is nothing but like potted, like pothole filled gravel. And there's just trucks strewn everywhere. And nobody's in the docks, so I go in. It's shift change. And, you know, go in to check in and, you know, give them my information, tell them, hey, you know, like, I'm the guy that was running like 20 minutes late, you know, and my company said they cleared it with you. Well, they pretend they don't know who the fuck I am, that they'd never heard about it, and maybe they hadn't. I don't know. To this day, I don't know. Maybe they hadn't heard of anything, and I was like, well, they said they sent emails and talked to you guys, and nothing. Well, I've, you know, some larger black lady, you know, like DMV experience type situation here. Some larger black lady with attitude, you know, telling me she don't know nothing about it, and looks up my load number and tells me, oh, well, you're late. And I said, I know, that's kind of what this whole conversation is about. And I was told that would be fine. Well, it's not fine. They don't do work-ins. My company's gonna have to reschedule my pickup for the following day, at some point during the following day. And I said, so there's no scenario where I get in now to get my load. And I was just straight told, nope, we don't do work-ins. And mind you, I've been very like calm and polite, not rude at all. So, you know, sometimes people just take an instant disliking to you, and that's kind of the feeling I had on this one, is that they had taken an instant disliking to me. So I was like, oh, okay, if you're guaranteeing me that I'm not gonna, nope, you're not gonna get loaded, you need to have your company reschedule your pickup for tomorrow. Fair enough. So I go out in the truck, take off, I leave. I get out to the interstate, and I call my manager at the time and tell him, hey, they're a refusal on the load. They won't load me. They said that I'm late, I'm a work-in, you guys are gonna have to call, reschedule the appointment. They said the earliest open appointment that might be able to get rescheduled is for tomorrow. Well, I got shit that I had planned for this weekend. I'm not waiting here and canceling the plans I had. And this is back when I was a partial owner of a company, and I had plans. Like, I had to work at the company I own part of. And waiting there a day would have made that impossible. And so he goes, oh, hold on, just hang tight. Let me get a hold of him and see what's going on. And mind you, this guy was a fucking idiot. I'm not gonna use any names, but this guy was an idiot. He's gone now. He was fired, or let go, or whatever, you know. And so I don't have to deal with him anymore. But this guy was an idiot. And I said, well, I'm not gonna use the name. I told him, I said, well, you could call him and try to figure something out, but I'm already gone, and I'm not turning south again. If you want to find something for me to load right off the interstate on the way home, that's fine. I'll make that stop, pick up that load, and come home with it. I said, but I'm not varying, I'm not detouring way off the interstate. I said, I'm headed fucking home. This whole week has been a fucking shit show, and I'm over it. I'm not dealing with it. And I understand that that's kind of like a crazy thing to do, but this is the week that, prior to that, I'd shown up to work, had a mechanical issue with the trailer I had, air hoses. Had to get that up to Ream to get that up to our facility, get repaired. That gets repaired. I had a flat on my truck leaving my last pickup. Had to do a roadside repair at a weigh station on that. I was able to get into a weigh station, park, wait for the repair. Then I get down to Gainesville, wake up in the morning to no sound of a reefer, and a load that's supposed to be at 35 degrees is now at like 55 degrees. And so they got it unloaded. It was fine, but my reefer's dead and won't fire over. I had a buddy in the vicinity, another trucking friend in the vicinity, that I was able to have pull into the grounds to try to help me troubleshoot this. You know, he's got a lot more experience in the field than I do, but he pulled in. We tried to troubleshoot the reefer, see what possibly could have been the issue. No matter what we did, it wouldn't fire over. It just wouldn't go. So then I had to rush that up to get repaired, and then that made me late for my appointment. So at this point in the week, I'm fucking over it. Like, I'm over it. Every step of the trip had been nothing but a nightmare, plus dealing with Atlanta, which I absolutely hate. To me, now I haven't been out to like some of these East Coast cities that people say stay away from, and I haven't been out to the far West Coast cities where people, you know, also have some issues with. So I don't have a full, like, in-depth experience with East and West Coast cities. I have a lot of experience with like southern and central cities. And Atlanta, to me, is by far, hands down, the worst city in our in my company's type routing that we have to deal with. To the point where I've told them, only under dire circumstances send me where I have to go to or through Atlanta, because I'm just done with it. Like, I don't mind going to Gainesville. I don't mind going through Nashville. It's whatever. Chicago's a pain in the ass, but I could deal with it. Like, all that stuff. Dallas is a pain in the ass. Fort Worth is a little bit less of a pain in the ass, but still not great. Like, all these cities, these large major metropolitan areas are pains in the ass, but like, they're nothing like Atlanta, where you could spend, 4 or 5 hours just trying to get through the fucking city, and then spend 4 or 5 hours trying to come back up through the city, because for whatever reason, the planners of all these interstates didn't decide to like build routes. Or there are routes around, but they're long detours around this city. Like, they force you through this motherfucker. So yeah, so you could spend the same amount of time coming north, which means that you could spend an 8-hour total just trying to traverse this one city in your route. And when you're getting paid by the mile, like, that, the math doesn't math. Like, it just doesn't. Like, you're doing 8 hours to maybe accumulate 100 miles of driving, so you're getting paid, like, well, everybody's route's different, but for me it's 60 cents a mile, so you're getting paid like $60 for 8 hours of work, of stressful work. No thank you. Because it's not just Macon, it goes all the way. You're not really clear of the traffic until you get south or Atlanta. You're not clear of the traffic until you get south of Macon, and that's kind of when it opens up and you could fucking put your hammer down again and go. But so yeah, that, just a little side note of, yeah, I said fuck you, and I just took off on that trip, and the response was, well, could you stop south of Nashville so that we could see if we could get you loaded with something else? And I mean, I didn't have the time to get north of Nashville, so I told him yes. So I stopped at Nashville, have to pay for parking because I didn't get in there until fucking, midnight. And I wake up in the morning to no messages, no new orders for a pick or anything else. So I call, and you got anything for me? And this idiot, I don't think he had done anything. Oh yeah, just hang tight. I'll let me look into it. So if you drive, you know what that means. So I didn't hang tight. I took my dog out, went in, got me a nice coffee at the place, jumped in the truck and hit the interstate. And it was like an hour later, he calls me, asking me if I would like detour up to Indiana to grab, and I was like, bro, I'm already north of Nashville for one, and headed home. Here is my route. If you can find me something off the interstate where it's like within 20-30 miles of the interstate where I could just jump off, run over there, grab your load, and be done with it, then yes, I will grab that load, and that will be that. I said, if you can't do that, then I'm just coming home. It's simple as. On top of this, I forgot. I'd lost my work wallet on top of this. This was the week where I had scaled out and somewhere dropped the work wallet that I carry that has like my fuel cards, loyalty cards, all that, work related stuff. Luckily I don't keep like any personal documents in there. I just keep the company stuff in there. And so I had dropped that, so now I'm on EFS checks, which there's a lot of drivers that's what they operate off of, EFS, but we operate off fuel cards, which just expedites the process. I pull up to the pump, swipe the card, get to going, and I'm good to go. I don't have to like call for an EFS number or any of that stuff. So yeah, I forgot this was also the week where, so yeah, I was just at the end of my rope, dude. Like, this was seriously one of those weeks where you're just contemplating, like, just being done with the entire endeavor, like finding a new career. Like, this isn't what I want. Like, this was one of those type of weeks. So yeah, I told him, I was like, and they didn't like it, but what can they do? And eventually I just got I'd reached out when I'd just gotten inside Illinois again and said, hey, do you got anything for me, or what's the deal here? And I thought for sure that they would find something. Usually, like fucking order of fries or something that comes from like northern Illinois up to our own facility. They didn't find nothing. He had tried to proposition me to go into downtown Chicago to pick up something to bring to a whole different facility the next day. And I said, no, the entire point of me leaving that one facility is I need to be back. I have a prior obligation. And so, yeah, I just came home empty. And that was it. Like, I fully expected them to like have a bigger problem with it, and maybe I would have to fucking switch jobs back to my delivery stuff, which you still drive a semi. It's only a 48-foot trailer and a day cab. But I was like, all right, screw it. I'll go back to that. It's more money anyway. I just have to work third shift. But at least I get to go home every day. But nothing came of it. So yeah, yesterday was nothing close to that week experience, but I was at the point where I was ready to drive off on 2 pallets and say fuck you. I'd gone in finally and explained to him about a drive clock and how they had burnt my drive clock to the ground, sitting there for over 3 hours, and I needed to go so that I could actually make it to my stop on my appointment time. And if they didn't get me loaded, I needed to leave without those pallets just so I could make my run, which is true. Like I said, I had to drive 20 minutes over my clock last night just to... There you go, little girl. There you go. Good girl. Just to get parked. In a position that would, allow me to make my run today. So, yeah, it's, that's been the week in a recap so far. A 20-minute recap. Sorry about the length of that, but got sidetracked with a bullshit story. But, yeah, got about just under 600 miles, about 560 or so put down today. Nothing insane. And what do I have planned for the day? Well, I'm going to finish my coffee. Usually after that I need to find a restroom. And I plan on stopping at Hood's truck stop up the road here off of I believe it's off 61, and I am just now passing 180. This is I-44 in Missouri, heading southwest. And so yeah, I'll get up to Hood's, do my workout, probably make lunch. If I can hold it till then, maybe I'll go in and use their restroom. And once I do that, then it's a straight shot to, I'll jump off and hit I-69. I'll head through Muskogee and all those little native and reservation style towns. And there's a Flying J along that route that I enjoy stopping at to get my fuel. So I'll fuel up there, I'll take a shower, probably make dinner. I like to eat dinner a little bit earlier nowadays. And that was one of us heading north. Yeah, then from there it's a 4-hour, about just a little over 4 hours to my stop in Fort Worth. So, and I just do a straight shot of that, and she could hold that for that 4 hours, so we're good on that. And that looks like it's going to be the day. I won't be getting in there until 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. Right now, if I was to be able to just drive straight, I'd get there around 6 p.m. So, barring no traffic issues or anything like that, which there's always traffic issues. So, that's just a little rambling recap of the day. With a little bit of dash cam footage. Live. Coordinated with the video because I'm so technical, bro. I'm so super techie, bro. I ain't really got nothing else to say about my work schedules. I don't want to make this video too long. I had to go to Best Buy, and I have a Total Tech there, so I had to turn in my laptop, my good one, my expensive gaming editing laptop, because it kept crashing on me when I was like pushing it too hard. So they're gonna update the drivers and fix everything, but I had to leave it for a few days. So I'm trying to do everything I'm doing off of my little backup laptop. It's a little Samsung ProBook, which it works fine. It could do everything I need it to do. It just takes it a lot longer to do it because it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card, and it's only an i7 processor. So just takes longer. It takes longer to render. It takes longer to run video effects, clean up audio, and just everything takes longer. So actually, I should probably set that up and set that to do everything it needs to do while I go to bed, because it could easily take an hour, 2 hours to scrub through audio, clean it up, do the voice enhancements, stuff like that, to get rid of some of this background noise that would otherwise be blowing your eardrums out if you got earbuds in. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. So peace, and if you're on the road, drive safe, and blah blah blah, yakety yak. That's the end of the video. So